All right, today I'm gonna just go straight into some algebra. I don't think I spend a lot of time going into algebra topics. So the one thing I do want to talk about from algebra is factoring. It is a very important skill. It is useful throughout the rest of your mathematics. It helps harder problems or more complex problems seem a little bit more manageable if you understand how to rewrite using factors. So this is going to be a few days worth of just going over them because there's different ways that they could be presented. So I'm going to try to start with the most basic examples first, and throughout the rest of the next few days, I'm going to get to the more complicated ones. All right, so factors multiply together to yield a product. That's going to be what we base everything on right here. Factors multiply together to yield a product. So if I had the number 36, right, there are different ways that I can multiply numbers together to get 36. So I'm going to make a table. This is like a multiplication table. You have 1 times 36. That's equal to 36. 2 times 18 is equal to 36. 3 times 12 is equal to 36. 4 times 9 is equal to 36. And 6 times 6 is equal to 36. All of these are factors. 1, 36, 2, 4, 3, 12, 4, 9, 6. All of those are factors of 36 because they all multiply to yield 36. So math is one of the types of subjects where you are required to learn how to read things or do things left to right and from right to left. Not literally per se, but as far as ideas, if you can move forward, you should be able to reverse it and come backwards, that type of thing. That's why when you learn how to add, you must learn how to subtract also, because that's two different directions if you want to look at it that way. Same thing with multiplication. Once you learn how to multiply, then after that we talk about division, because operations can undo each other. So factoring is one of those types of things. So keep that in mind. What we're talking about now, we're talking about factors multiplying together to yield a product. That's the main thing. The second thing is what we're actually doing is learning something in a different direction than what you're used to. So it's not that you don't know how to do it. It's like, do you know how to undo something? Okay, that's what we're trying to do, all right? So I want you to keep these factors in mind because every example that I'll do today is going to be based off of this table that we just put together, all right? So make sure you keep this in mind and what these factors are. So we're going to be factoring trinomials of the form x squared plus bx plus c. And this is a trinomial because it has 1, 2, 3 terms, all right? That's a trinomial. All right, so x squared plus 37x plus 36. That's the problem that we're factoring. Now, I already know which factors to use. 1 times 36. Because if I add 1 plus 36, I get 37. And remember, 37 is the number right there in the middle. So my first term is x to the second power. X times x is x to the second power. My term on the end is a positive 36. That's going to be a positive 1 times a positive 36. That's how we're going to start it off. We're going to go ahead and verify it before we move forward. So multiply these two together. You get x to the second power. That's what goes into that box. Multiply x times 1. Put it in that box. That's a 1x. All right. Multiply 36 times x. That goes here. 36x. And then you multiply 36 times the 1. That answer goes there, and that's 36. So we filled in the boxes. Notice how both of these have an x on it. So if you have 36 x's and one more, that means you have 37 total. 37 x's. We have 36 on the end from here, and we have x squared, and that's on the front. If this result is the same as what we started with, then what you have done is found the correct factors because by definition, factors multiply, right? Factors multiply together to yield a product. That's what factors do. If you multiply these two together, you should get that. And the only way this would happen is if these were all correct, all right? So that's how we do it. That's what factoring is. So if you kind of understand that, you got to keep that kind of thinking in mind. Not only do we know multiplication and the rules, we have to think about addition and subtraction. So this one, we didn't have to think about the subtraction per se because everything was positive. But the next example that I'm about to do is going to have some signs in there that changes. And then that's when you really have to think about integer rules. Yep, make sure you write that one down. That one says x squared minus 5x minus 36. All right, x squared minus 5x minus 36. So I went ahead and filled out the first part because that's going to be the easiest part, x times x. Now, we have a negative 36, but we have a negative 5 also. So we have to always keep in mind which factors are going to get me there. And if you're really looking close, it should jump out to you because I'm looking at the 4 and the 9. I think I need the 9 to be negative and the 4 to be positive. Because if you did 4 minus 9, you will get a negative 5. See what I'm saying? Not only will you get a negative 5 by subtraction, by multiplication, you will end up getting a negative 36. And notice how negative 36 is here and also negative 5 is there. These are the factors you have to think about for that to happen. So we're going to verify one more time. X times x is x to the second power. X times negative 9 is a negative 9x. 4 times x is a 4x. And then 4 times negative 9 is a negative 36. So when you fill all boxes out, make sure you combine the like terms because that's going to be your middle term, the number in the middle. And what's 4x minus 9x? That should be a negative 5x. The negative 36 goes on the end, and the x squared goes on the front. If we get a result that is what we started with, that means we got the correct factors. So my factors are x minus 9 times x plus 4. Those are the correct factors. Now, if you write x plus 4 times x minus 9, that's okay. All right. So remember, multiplication, as long as these two are written down and the sign is next to the correct number, you're okay. All right, those are the only two examples I wanted to go over today. I'm going to be doing factoring for the next few days because there are so many different ways that they can be presented. We even have special factoring cases, right? So I'm going to be getting into all of those. So those are the two that I needed today. I just kind of want you to see how you can use what you know about multiplication and your signs to break things or products into two separate factors.